Sioux Corporation, the industry leader in manufacturing water heaters and chilling systems, steam generators, pressure washers, and steam cleaners. Welcome back to the Sioux Corporation Press Box. Sioux Corporation, the industry leader in manufacturing water heaters and chilling systems, steam generators,
All right, fans, welcome to Watchdogs.live, Dogbone Entertainment for the 2025 Watchdog home football season. Pleasure to be here calling the game with you, Jared Olson, Jeff Boom, and Diego Hernandez. Jeff, welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, it's great. Excited to be another football season coming up here in 2025. Get to see these kids come out on a beautiful night like tonight compared to what they've been practicing. I think this will be a little bit of a relief.
Yeah, certainly some relief. I noted earlier today when I stepped out, you could just get a little hint of cool breeze. It was still plenty sticky, and as the sun kind of came back out after that little bit of showers and the humidity in the air, it did start to kind of heat up again, but a really pleasant evening. Again, I know down on the field it's going to feel a lot steamier and hotter, but nice evening to be out here at Cortland Carnes Stadium, Jim Heron Field, and we'll get back to that a little bit later. We do want to welcome a third broadcaster on tonight. He's also doing dual duty running the camera right out in front of us, so he's a familiar face to Watchdogs.live, Dogbone Entertainment. Diego Hernandez, welcome to the broadcast.
Yep.
All right, Diego, nice and loud right into the broadcast.
Yeah, as mentioned earlier, I'm kind of not really new to this, just kind of here already. Was already here. Last year, did a lot of work with softball, as some of you remember. But I'm here, as stated earlier, I'm doing dual work. I'm going to be holding this camera that's to my right and in front of the other two behind me. I'm going to be giving some quality, hopefully at least, hopefully to the viewers. It is very good quality camera work.
All right, so Diego's going to do dual duty tonight. He's going to hop in and give us a little bit of analysis. He's done basketball with us and girls softball. This will be his first football game, but we are going to get going with the starting lineups. I will take you through each one of these as we get going here. For Baltic, their starting defensive lineup will be Ben Erickson, Carter Warren, Jack Wiseman, Cale Roach, Dylan Runnestead, Braden Hansen, Aaron Norby, Jackson Gehring, Tyler Kennedy, Cooper Breyer, and Trevor Cooperas. On the offensive side for the Watchdogs will be Ian Henderson, Ashton Oberly, Hayden Schilling, Elias Perez, Malachi James, Peyton Hoffman, Caden Shirk, Cannon Klentz, Kason Voss, Cameron Mullenix, and Cooper Joseph. Jeff, I think a number of things we could talk about here. Let's start with Ashton Oberly, returning now as a junior in that quarterback position. No stranger to the field of play.
No, really got thrust into the action as a true freshman, and we really watched how he's evolved, the player that he's become, and just the additional weight, the additional strength, and added with the experience. I am super excited to watch him this year. This has been a long time coming to see him kind of develop into the player that he's going to be, and we still get 2 more years of this, and he's exciting.
Yeah, we do graduate 8 seniors. That's going to kind of lead us into maybe my next comment here, Jeff. Just give a little bit of insight for the Watchdog fans out there. Hayden Schilling, a name that they're not going to know, but a senior on the roster here today. Talk a little bit about Hayden Schilling.
So Hayden Schilling has open enrollment come from Washington, Sioux Falls, Washington, and he's joining this. He's going to be a 3-sport athlete. He's going to be joining football, basketball, and track. And so last weekend, and they did a little mini scrimmage, and we got a chance to see Hayden Schilling. Really good athlete, super excited to get someone to come in as a surprise. He's 6'1", 190-pound running back, linebacker. He's going to be a difference maker. Let's just hope he can stay healthy, but I'm super excited, and I think he's going to be a guy that he's going to be a little bit of an X factor as we go throughout this whole season.
All right, and then maybe a third point here with the Watchdogs, just an early preview. A number of seniors that we had to replace, most notably maybe as linemen. Talk about maybe some of the new linemen that will kind of step into some shoes here and get some playing time today.
Yeah, so the offensive line, it's revamped. They're going to be they're not battle tested. They're unproven. We've got some seniors out here that haven't played football, haven't even been out for the sport for a couple years. So this offensive line and defensive line, this is going to be one to watch. Now, we've got some athletes. We're probably going to be a little undersized compared to some of the teams that we play, but this is a good week for us to go out. Baltic doesn't have big numbers. They're a little undersized in some of these positions too, so this is a great way to get the season kicked off, get to see what we have for offensive line. And I know the coach has been shuffling around. We've tried some different people at some different positions, and tonight we're going to see them kind of land on it. We're going to have 2 sophomores in that offense and defensive line too. So, you know, we are very skilled in the skilled positions on the perimeter, and so we're going to be super exciting on that facet, but the question's going to be, can the offensive and defensive line hold up this season?
Yeah, I know assistant coach Arlen Lickness was through the office a few times. He ran kind of a youth camp here, and he was through the office a few times, and he just kind of give me little tidbits of, hey, we're looking at something new or something a little different, and I think that's what any coach does with their program. Looks at who they have that year and what are our strengths and weaknesses, and you adapt your offense or your defense or your special teams to your personnel. And it'll be interesting what the coaching staff has drawn up as a game plan for this group of Watchdogs.
Well, we all know this. This is a game. Injuries happen. People are going to get dinged up. You may have season-ending injuries. You may have something where someone's on the shelf for a few weeks. So as this camp has evolved, they've plugged in a lot of different people. We had Luke James comes to mind, had an accident going home from school, ended up getting a concussion, had a little whiplash, gave Corbin Boom a chance to kind of step in and get some reps. So we've got some sophomores that are going to be fun to watch over the next few years. Some of them are going to be riding the pine here a little bit this season, but they're getting some reps in practice. They're working through this offensive line. And I will say this about an offensive line. Whatever level, it could be high school, college, or pros, you got to gain some chemistry. And so when you've got 5 guys that haven't played together before and they're new, and like I said, a little unproven, it's going to take a few weeks for these guys to gel, because I guarantee you 10 days ago, they didn't know that this was going to be the offensive line. But this is what we got. These guys are going to have to come together and start working together to start moving some people out. We need the Beresford Watchdog Moving Company to come in fast and hard tonight.
All right, pretty decent crowd settling in here, Jeff. Starting lineups are taken care of. We will do the national anthem. We'll keep the camera going as Diego will put that on the, I believe we are going to have the VFW or the Legion Auxiliary, I believe, presenting the colors, is what I was told anyways. I'm just looking down on the edge of the field. I don't see them exactly yet, but if not, we'll go to the camera on the big flag in the northeast corner. Project the Booster Club did a few years ago. So, Jeff, we will go muted here, and then we'll get the national anthem taken care of, and we'll be back with the opening kickoff. direction of Mr. Aaron Schmeling. Great job there on the national anthem. Jeff, they're going to bring the captain crew out there and meet at midfield and flip the coin, but something I referenced we'd get back to. I'll just let you speak just kind of a little bit here. It's out on social media. The brand new scoreboard on the south side of the field has got his name above it, so it's no secret, but it is now Cortland Karn Stadium, Jim Heron Field, or Jim Heron Field at Cortland Karn Stadium. Just some initial thoughts, Jeff.
Well, I've heard a few people down before the game say a long time coming, and it absolutely is. Legendary Beresford football coach. You just go through the decades and see the amount of wins and the state championships, and absolutely well-deserved. It's an amazing honor. I'm actually a little surprised that he took it because he is a very humble and doesn't like the spotlight on him. But next week we'll get a chance to have him, and I understand his daughters and his son will come and be here as well. At least we hope to see the whole family and celebrate this special honor with him. And really excited, having played for him. It's just fantastic to see it, and I'm surprised, and we didn't think about it years and years ago.
It's been in the works, and it's been talked about for a long time. It just seemed like the right opportunity and the time to do it. And Jim will be here. So, again, if you're going to take part in that, you want to come watch the dedication next week, you're going to want to be here early. So when the coin toss happens, Coach Heron will be out there tossing the official coin, and then he'll be recognized just briefly with just a little PA address of his accomplishments, and he'll wave to the crowd, and then he'll be around for the game. There'll be a chance for people to catch up with him if you want. So,
and I'm going to do my best to see if I can get him up here on the mic for just a little bit. I'd love to have him talk a little bit about moving the football from the football field, from the baseball stadium, which is, a few hundred yards from here?
Yeah.
And then coming over to this football field. It'd be kind of neat considering that his name now is attached to this particular field.
Yep. Forever and ever it will be Jim Heron Field at Cortland Karn Stadium. Watchdogs did win the toss. They deferred, and, of course, Baltic obviously chose to take that. Kicking off for the Watchdogs is the senior, number 13, Peyton Hoffman. Back deep for Baltic. Jeff, I left my binoculars at home. Rookie move here, but I see Cole Roach back in the middle.
Yeah, looks like we got, it's a little kind of hard to tell. That looks like number 13 there. We've got Dylan Runstead taking it up the middle.
Yeah, Baltic returns it out to the 30 here. That's where they'll take over first and 10.
And this is one of my favorite parts of every season. Kickoff has happened. Now you're going to actually go into your formations. You've been doing the summer skill set practices and all of these things, and now you've had the last few weeks. You're putting the pads on. You're hitting people with the same color jersey, and now you're like, okay, we're going to actually hit somebody in a different color jersey. So these first few possessions are always really fun to watch when the nerves kind of get out.
Dylan Scottvold in the gun. Hands off to the backstand into the next of him. That is number 21, Aaron Norby. Carries around the left side. Who was he brought down there by, Jeff?
Ian Henderson. So, one thing that I think will be an interesting thing to watch tonight, Baltic is, he's going to be right tackle. They are using him as a right tackle. They got a 6'6", 225-pound senior out there that looks like he could move some people out. He pulled on that last play, and the Watchdogs were really able to kind of skirt him and make the tackle for a short loss. Short gain.
Scottvold kind of gives that option. Look out to the right, gives it to the back. That is, again, number 21, Aaron Nordby. He goes right, cuts back to the left, goes up the middle. That's good enough for a first down. Baltic will be first and 10 from their own 42.
And so this is what we talked about here to top off the show was this offensive line and defensive line for the Watchdogs. Got some newer people out there, and so this is going to just be an interesting play, and we'll see if the Bulldogs start to figure out something here on the ground and if they're able to kind of attack up the middle.
Yeah, now they're going to go one wide, double wing. Quarterback goes under center. They get a little motion and sweep out to the right side. He is run out of bounds, but that is number 13, Dylan Runnestad.
Bulldogs seem to be pretty content keeping it on the ground so far. They're having some success, after that first play, and so I would assume that they're going to probably keep working this ground game. And if you really want to start your season off, if you can keep it on the ground the whole time, keep the ball out of harm's way, this is a great way to kind of get that opening possession. And I got to think, if the Watchdogs are looking at last year, They kind of boat raced Baltic in that first game of the year, so hopefully they aren't taking them too lightly.
Get the pressure on. He's wrapped up, down around the ankles. That is number 74 and 65, so that's Cameron Molinex and Kaysen Voss on the sack. That is a loss of a couple there for the Dogs, so big second down there.
And Kaysen's going to be an exciting one to watch. This is one of the seniors that I had mentioned that came out, has not been participating in football, but really well needed. He can be a physical presence out there, and right there he showed it. He's able to get in on the sack, put some pressure on.
Yeah, and Kaysen is a two-way starter for the Dogs this year. Now the Baltic Bulldogs back in shotgun formation. Hand off to the back. He kind of stops, stutter steps, gets a couple of dogs to Watchdogs, I should say, out of the way. He runs around the right side for a gain of about 7 or 8. It's good enough for a Baltic first down where they maybe had him dead to rights on that little jab step.
But we're seeing some leadership out of Hayden Schilling. We talked about him earlier. You know, they kind of had him bottled up. He makes a little move. We miss him. He ends up picking up the first down. And you could see Hayden kind of getting on one of the other players there, saying, "Hey, that's your job. You got to hold that edge." And so this is going to be something they need, that leadership presence on the field.
Okay, Baltic went one right, two left, put the left receiver off the line in motion, pitched it to him around the right side. That's a gain of, see where they end up marking that. I'm going to call that a gain of 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 7 for the Baltic Bulldogs.
Like I said, we're keeping it on the ground here. You know, typically when you start out a series, especially in the opening drive, you've got maybe 10 plays that are scripted, and so they're still going through their scripted plays. They're going to see what happens, how does the defense react. You're seeing a lot of motion. The formations are changing quite a bit. They're going to see if Beresford's adjusting to that, and so
the Watchdogs bring the blitz there.
I think someone left early.
Flag was thrown. But Watchdogs clearly showing blitz, and they did send Hayden Schilling on that play. We'll see what the call is here. False start against the Bulldogs.
And if there's any fear of running these plays with a lot of motion, you've got an offensive lineman there that's a little bit trigger happy, waiting for all these people to move behind him. And as soon as you see people move, there's a tendency to think that the play just got started and the ball has been snapped. So there's always a little give and take with that, a lot of running, a lot of motion, all these formation changes. It can start to wear on the patience of a lineman pretty quick.
Now 2nd and long here. Watchdogs do bring in Tate Lyle on that left side. Baltic does get a good gain of about 6, maybe 7 on the play, working around the right side away from us.
Yeah, they're finding a little rhythm over here on the right side. So I don't know if they've identified something on that side or what it is exactly that they want to keep pounding that right side, but they see something over there. Now we just entered in a true freshman.
Yeah, Bentley Shirk comes in on the interior. It looks like he's maybe right at nose guard there. We're going to put a 5-man line up there. Watchdogs do get the pressure. That's Schilling with Caden Shirk. There was a third one in there, but Watchdogs had the pressure. That's a loss of, we'll see where they see forward progress. So that's a loss of 2. Going to bring up 4th and 6.
And I don't think we'll see a punt here, but I see they are bringing them some new players. I'm going to guess it's going to be a throwing down. You're on the, enemy territory here. Your first drive of the season, you're on the 42. Punting just does not make a whole lot of sense, even if you don't pick it up here on. You're still got pretty good field.
We haven't seen Scotvold throw it yet, but he is going to look right the whole way. They had 3 receivers over there. Pressure's coming from the sophomore. Ball is just underthrown, and the receiver slipped coming back to it. So pressure there was brought by number 24, Landry Sims, a sophomore, 5'7", 142 pounds. Landry played as a freshman last year on the defensive backfield. Watchdogs do force a turnover on down, so now we'll get a look at the Watchdog offense here, 1st and 10 from our own 42.
And if I'm Baltic, yeah, we didn't come away with points. The drive stalled, but it was successful. They were able to move the ball.
Jeff, I believe we're probably taking a heat timeout. The umpire kind of signaled my time here, so Axel Berian, one of our Dog Bone Entertainment crew members. He's going to take you to a commercial. We'll be back right after this break.
Welcome back to the Sioux Corporation Press Box. Sioux Corporation, the industry leader in manufacturing water heaters and chilling systems, steam generators, pressure washers, and steam cleaners. Welcome back to the Sioux Corporation Press Box. Sioux Corporation, the industry leader in manufacturing water heaters and chilling systems, steam generators, pressure washers, and steam cleaners.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual.
Yeah. Another one. Yep. Man, this town's changed. Yeah. About damn time.
Jim Heron Field, Cortland Karn Stadium at Beresford High School. Watchdogs do a little misdirection, but the Baltic Bulldogs were blitzing on that opening play, and they do stuff the Watchdogs for a loss. Diego Hernandez, again, we referenced Diego, welcomed him into the broadcast earlier. Diego, kind of excited to get the school year started. We're only 2 days in, but how is that kind of getting the first couple days, getting everybody back together, and now having school spirit of cheerleaders sideline and players out on the field?
All right, so honestly, I thought this would be coming in later. I didn't know there was going to be a football game this Friday, but I'm glad there was because I'm going to have to get used to this really soon.
Yeah, no, it's just what it is. My girls were the same, trying to get back in the routine of school again, and it's just good to get that routine of activities. We're going to have home volleyball next week on Tuesday and Thursday. Watchdogs with no gain there, or if it was very little. So now it's third and 15 from the Watchdog 38. Baltic defensively just going to bring the blitz and the pressure.
Yeah, this isn't the way obviously you want to start your opening drive of the season, but number 54, Cooper Breyer, is looking like he's going to be a bit of a wrecking ball. They haven't quite figured out an answer how to get him stopped on these first two plays, and he's been in the action.
Yeah, now they brought the blitz from the left outside cornerback. Watchdogs do get the right receiver, but just took a minute to get the ball gathered and brought it up to about the 44.
So this could be decision-making time right here too. Now,
yes, so 4th and 8 now for the Watchdogs in their own territory.
Yeah, punt probably makes sense. You don't want to do this and give Baltic. They proved that they can pick up a couple first downs. No sense of giving them really good field position here. So we'll see if there's anything up their sleeve. Try something a little different, but I would say a safe bet here is just to punt it away.
Yeah, Hayden Hammenberg, punting duties last year for the Watchdogs. Got a great roll on that one. No return back deep for the Baltic Bulldogs was Dylan Runnestad. They're going to let Baltic take over 1st and 10 from their own 15. Axel, why don't you take us to another commercial? We'll be right back after this break.
Beresford Telephone is your full-service local telephone company, providing telephone service, sales, high-speed fiber optic internet packages, and professional surveillance systems for both commercial.
All right, fans, welcome back. Baltic Bulldogs with their second offensive series. They go off the left side. That is number 21, Aaron Nordby.
Tough run in there. Although he was completely surrounded by Watchdogs, he just kept grinding away, and eventually the helmet came off. But a lot of effort there on number 21.
Yeah, gain of, we're going to call that a long 3, short 4. They put it up as 4 on the board, so 2nd and 6 here for the Baltic Bulldogs. Yeah, Nordby's run the ball a few times. He's a junior, 5'7", 165 pounds. Scott Vold back in the gun. Motion here out of the left. Ball is loose. It got free. The back was able to recover it. That's number 22, Jackson Gehring.
Those are definitely the players or the plays when you're, as a coach, you start to hold your breath, because that would be a big momentum change right now. Baltic seems to not be in total control, but they definitely have some momentum on their side. They're seeing that there's some gaps there. They're able to run the ball effectively, and I wouldn't be surprised here if we would even see them try to run the ball again here on 3rd and 5.
Jeff, defensively, the Watchdogs swapping a lot of guys in, mostly linemen. Is this just defensive strategy, or is it just trying to keep guys fresh, go-to plays, and take one off type of approach?
You know, frankly, part of it's probably the heat. The other side of it is I think they're still trying to figure out, like, who can play what. So they're just going to keep moving people in, keeping them fresh due to the heat, but it's also like who wants to step up and own some of these positions. So they're going to be moving out a lot of that offense and defensive line as we've been talking about earlier in the show.
4 minutes on the clock. Baltic Bulldogs do have a penalty that negates any gain they had. So now it's 3rd and short 10, long 9. They split out 3 to the right. One back standing next to quarterback Gavin Scatfold, the sophomore QB. Pressure from Lyle. Tate Lyle, the junior, with the sack. Big loss, and couldn't have come at a better time if you're a Watchdog fan.
And this should really set them up for good field position, assuming that the punt gets off and we don't have anything crazy happen on the catch and the return. But this is exactly what Beresford wanted to have happen. You know, if you're going to punt this ball away, you can even make them go backwards. Now you're putting yourself in a position, even with a really good punt, you should be able to catch this and get some sort of a return out of it, maybe like on the 40 or 45-yard line.
Number is hard to read. I believe that's Ben Erickson kicking. That's one you're just going to want to get away from.
Oh,
it's going to bounce backwards back to the south. Baltic is just trying to get the thing stopped. So net gain on that punt is, what, about 10 yards?
Yeah.
Is that a flag on the far side? I see some yellow on the far side. There is a flag on the ground. False start offense. Obviously, we're going to decline that penalty and take that net 10-yard punt. So now Watchdogs set up a great position here. 1st and 10 from the Baltic 18-yard line.
Well, you miss an opportunity to pick up a fumble, and what is it, 3 plays later, you are essentially in a better field position than you were even on the fumble. You couldn't really ask this to work out any better if you're the Watchdogs.
Head coach Houston Wenzel wants a break here for his Baltic Bulldogs. Axel, why don't you take us to another commercial break? We'll be back right after this.
Commercial and residential customers. Beresford Telephone also offers the only in-town gig-certified internet provider, which offers the highest speed services. Wanting to upgrade your existing service? Contact Beresford Telephone today and let them get started on your high-speed services in no time.
Starting the First Bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota.
All right, fans, welcome back to Jim Heron Field at Cortland Karn Stadium. Again, Watchdogs 1st and 10 from the Baltic 18-yard line. Oberle back in the gun. He's looking right. He's going to roll right. He's under pressure, gets it off. His intended receiver over there is Dexton Miller. Dexton's a sophomore running back, kind of came out of the backfield as a receiver.
Yeah, the pressure kind of caused Oberle to have to throw it off balance. You know, couldn't get a whole lot on it. Dexton actually made a pretty nice catch on that, and, you know, it ended up being the equivalent of a short run, picking up the 2 yards. And this is really one of those moments early in the season, but when you get the ball on the 18-yard line at home, opening night, these are the ones that you should put some points up.
Watchdogs pull some linemen, work off the right side. Dexton just lost his footing. Is going to be called down at the 11-yard line, so gain of another 3.
And early in the season, adrenaline starts coming, see a lot of open field, get yourself really excited, the feet are going 100 mile an hour, and you lose your traction.
Yeah, 3rd and 3, so really manageable here. It's obviously a 4-down scenario. Minute 51 on the clock. Doesn't matter. We're only in the first quarter, so they'll just flop halves if we don't get it done here in the next minute 45. Nice job of that last play, though, Jeff. Pulling linemen, kind of made some extra space out there, had some blockers out front.
Well, this is something that we've seen a little bit last year. Oberle's got the ability to take a ball in shotgun, find those 2 or 3 yards, keep the chains moving. The one thing you're going to notice here with the offensive line is you're going to see some flip-flopping. You'll see that Cooper Joseph will be on a right side one time as a tackle, and Cam Mullenix on the other side. And you'll see them flip-flopping. So this is all by design. So if it looks like there's maybe some confusion, it's just a matter of maybe whoever got the read. Like, was it a right side, power side, or is it a weak side? So they'll be flip-flopping around. So don't be surprised when you're seeing these offensive lines switch from one side to the other.
Tight end right. We're going to work off the right side, following the blocker. That is a touchdown run, 9-yard touchdown run for the sophomore running back, Dexton Miller. Watchdogs get on the board, and the Watchdog faithful stand up in support.
This is one to watch. We've got a sophomore here that's probably going to have a pretty good career in football, and we just got to see a taste of it right here. He's pretty crafty on his feet. He's very good at kind of staying, not at a full sprint, but keeping at a good pace and working his way through, and has a little bit of shift in him too. And I think as he gets older, he'll probably understand how to set some of these defenders up and be able to pull these moves off. But great job by the offensive line there to open up that. I don't think he even got touched or had to break a tackle. It was just out there. So good blocking across the board. That's going to be the key for success for the Watchdogs all year long.
Peyton Hoffman puts the extra point in, so Watchdogs 7, Baltic 0. 52 seconds left before the end of the first quarter. We're going to take a quick break. Axel, we'll be back right after this one commercial break.
A great place to call home.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and...
All right, fans, welcome back to Watchdogs.live. Dogbones Entertainment, Jared Olson, Jeff Boom, and Diego Hernandez on the call. Diego, why don't you kind of take the fans through what Dogbones Entertainment is?
So Dogbones Entertainment is the student section of just what goes on through the sports and what you're seeing right now. What you're hearing right now, what you're seeing. Just any effects, scoreboard.
Flag on the field.
We got really far with that one.
Yeah. So again, Axel Berrien referenced him. Axel, what grade are you in this year? You a 7th grader this year? I'm getting 8th grader. All right, Axel's an 8th grader. He's been helping us for a couple years on the computer side. So you're seeing some of the moves from, he did a lot of the sound check before we got going, and then you're seeing in and out of commercials. And then Diego Hernandez. Diego, I forget, are you a sophomore?
Yeah, sophomore.
Sophomore. Diego's a sophomore. He's done the computer side. He runs camera. He's helped call the games. And tonight he's doing both. He's out front running the camera view that you're seeing right now. And he's going to chime in and help us give a little bit of feedback on what's going on. Jeff, the penalty there was just the receiving team across the line or in a legal formation to receive the ball.
Yeah, there was a moment in time there. It looked like he might have an opening and be able to take that to the house, but it would have been called back. And they've got still pretty good field position here, so I don't think that Baltic's too upset the way that this worked out.
So kind of a double wing formation there. It's like a counter, crossbuck or something there, kind of coming back inside away from the motion, inside handoff. Baltic takes that for a first down. They're now in Watchdog territory, 1st and 10 from the Watchdog 43.
And this is where, and I'll keep talking about this all night, but the offense and defensive line, when you see these misdirection type of plays where they're kind of, looks like they're going to go right or left, and then you get a quick handoff underneath, that's where your line really has to be, holding their gap, holding off their blocks, because your perimeter guys aren't going to be able to make those tackles on the insides. This is where we really have to be able to stay strong on the interior part of the defense.
Yeah, their Baltic is on the near side closest to us. They do a sweep around the far side of the field. We almost like a hand grip away from containing the outside and just let them get a step or two on us, take it around the outside, and they're now at the 30. They were at the 43, so a gain of 13 yards there, first down Baltic. 1st and 10 from our 30.
Well, when you pick up, a quick first down or a 13-yard gain on a quick hitter on the interior, now you've got to respect that. And so what happens? People start looking to the inside, and all of a sudden you can kick it out to the outside, and you got defenders out there flat-footed.
Double wing, lineman pulling. That's got a chance to be picked off, and it's waved off. The linesman on the far side
and if you
waves it off.
If you were watching, Jack Wiseman was all alone with his hand up on the other side, and Scottville just couldn't see it. He had his, he was basically lasered in on the right side of the football field, but Wiseman was all alone. There wasn't anybody within 30 yards of him. That's a missed opportunity. That would have been a touchdown.
All right, that's the end of the first quarter. They're going to swap the chain gang and move the ball to the other side, put a fresh 12 minutes on there. Axel, we're going to go one quick commercial break. We'll be back right after this.
And unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Farming is more than a livelihood. It's a legacy. Simplot was founded by a hardworking farmer like you over 90 years ago, and we've been growing America's farms for generations. With local crop advisors grounded in your success, Simplot Grower Solutions.
All right, fans, welcome back. Watchdogs.live, Dogbone Entertainment. Jared Olson, Jeff Boom, and Diego Hernandez. 2nd and 10 for the Baltic Bulldogs. They run a little inside counter there, gain 11 or 12. That's enough for a first down. So now they're threatening from the Watchdog 18-yard line here, 1st and 10. Plenty of time on the clock before half as we just started the second quarter.
This is where beef moves, not as much beef. You look on the offensive line there, we've seen some people getting moved out. If you're a Watchdog fan, not something you want to see, but when you got 225 pounds, 280 pounds, and those things moving forward, you're going to get moved out. And this is unfortunately what can happen in a football game, where once this gets noticed, you're going to have to start creeping those linebackers up to try to prevent those gaps. And missed tackles here was another one. That was a face mask, I think.
Yeah, helmet came off, so they're going to blow it dead. Watchdogs did grab a hold of what appeared to be the face mask, and the helmet came popping off there of number 21. Aaron Nordby. You referenced size, Jeff, as Baltic was pulling up today. I was just finishing an afternoon bus route and driving back to the school, and I pulled in the parking lot, told them where to park their bus, greeted them to go in the locker room, and they started stepping off, and one of the first guys off was number 60, Trevor Cooperus. And Trevor's 6'6", 225 pounds, and I went, that's a man.
Yep. And, when you start to see, and even with that, the range at 6'6", when you press somebody out and you get your arms locked, the other person doesn't have arms that long. You're not going to be able to grab any jersey. So you're a little bit victimized if you can let him get his arms locked out. And, on top of that, they've got an interior lineman there, Cooper Breyer, at 220 pounds. Not super tall at 5'10", but at 225, you get that thing rolling, you're going to be able to move some people. And I think Baltic's got the powerlifting behind them, so there's probably some strength on that front side too.
Yeah, their head coach, Houston Wenzel, is involved, big influencer in powerlifting in Baltic. I know we've got a few kids that powerlift, and we've taken some kids up there. I believe they host a big event every year. So, I'm assuming that's part of what, is rebuilding a program that Houston's involved with here is powerlifting and what that means for some kids. And we've seen it through our Rosie program work and the size or strength that kids can pick up. But certainly powerlifting a big part of what they're doing there in Baltic.
And you even look over on the left tackle, Hunter Joppa there at 205 pounds. And there's a size advantage definitely tonight.
Watchdogs strung that one out pretty nicely. I'll see where they put the official placement. It was second and a short one, let's say, for first down after the penalty. They strung it, and then about 3 guys got there and forced them out. They're going to blow the clock dead and get an official measurement here, I believe is what they're going to do. No, they're going to signal it first down. So first and goal now from the Watchdog 8-yard line. Again, we're at 10:58 here in the second quarter. Watchdogs 7, Bulldogs 0. Scottfold goes under center. 1 wide receiver right. Direct handoff to the back. He goes in for an 8-yard touchdown. That's number 21, Aaron Nordby. Seen Nordby work quite a bit tonight. He finally gets one to pay off for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, we're seeing holes here on either side of the nose guard. We got the basically what you would call a B gap. Guards on both sides of the center. We usually don't man anybody up on that. Watchdogs will usually man up the center, and right now they're taking advantage of that, and they're really attacking it, and we just don't have the linebacker play right now to come up and fill that hole very well either.
Baltic is not going to kick the point after. They're going to go for the 2-point conversion. They set up in that double wing, double tight formation. Ran a little direction back. Handoff goes nowhere. I believe that was Tate Lyle possibly with others in there. So Watchdogs do a nice job at least containing that 2-point conversion attempt. So now with 10:53 to go in the second quarter, it's Watchdogs 7, Bulldogs 6. We'll be back right after this quick commercial break.
Is in your fields and by your side. We dig in deep to pinpoint what you need, where you need it, when you need it, even when the forecast is unpredictable.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
Shields All Sports.
Our fans, welcome back to Watchdogs.live, Dogbone Entertainment. Jared Olson, Jeff Boom, and Diego Hernandez. Jeff, back deep here for the Watchdogs. Malachi James and Ian Henderson. Malachi has, within the last week or two, committed to play football for Southwest Minnesota State. He's going to be a Mustang, so that's taken care of. And obviously got a big senior year ahead of him athletically as a football player and basketball. And then he runs track in the spring as well. It's going to go to Henderson. Going to reverse it and give it to James out in open space. He's got a couple blocks. Gets the fans up on their feet as he approaches midfield. So kind of timely mention of the athlete that Malachi is. We've seen him for a few years, just very gifted athletically, and now his senior campaign here. Put the Dogs in good position with 10:45 to go here in the second.
Well, he's gained a lot of strength over the last couple of years. You see it on the basketball court. He likes to play down in the paint, and he's able to jump and get in with the bigs. But he's a rebounding machine and gets a lot of putback points there, and that really, relates to the football field. When he gets the ball, he is not easy to tackle, and of course he's got the breakaway speed if he gets away. But he's tough to tackle.
Watchdogs did put 2 receivers out to the left, fake handoff, and then overly pulled it in. Went off tackle or kind of off that right side. Gain of, I'm going to call that 8. Bring up 2nd and 2. We've got a Baltic player down.
I think that may be Aaron Nordby. That would be a big loss because he's been playing lights out tonight and been having a heck of a ball game. And you don't want to see anybody ever get injured. But it is part of the game, and right now he looks like he's got some pain. Hopefully it's just cramps.
Yeah, the trainer came out right away, and he unsnapped the helmet and tossed it about 5 yards, and referee grabbed it, handed it to one of the ball boys on the Baltic side. So coaching staff and trainers are there. Axel, why don't you take us to a quick commercial break? We'll be back right after this break in action.
Store is your one stop for everything outdoors, with local experts eager to guide you through the widest selection of brands. Your one stop for exercise gear to get working out or fashions for going out. And your one stop for footwear in your size, your style, yours to take home today. Shields, employee-owned, community-minded, and like no place you've ever shopped before.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace is the only hardware retailer that carries Benjamin Moore paint at over 3,800 stores. With Benjamin Moore's premium quality, you can be confident you're getting the best. You can buy in store or order what you need online for curbside pickup or delivery. When you want the best, Benjamin Moore paint from Ace at participating stores.
Find Benjamin Moore paint and other great products at your locally owned Olson's Ace Hardware in Beresford.
Our fans, welcome back. Watchdogs Out Live, Dogbone Entertainment, Jared Olson, Jeff Boom, and Diego Hernandez. That was Norby. He did get up under his own power. A little bit of a limp to him, so we'll see, kind of monitor what they do defensively, and then the next offensive series if they bring him out. Little screenplay out to the right. That is out to Elias Perez. Defensively read very well by the Baltic Bulldogs. Number 12, Cale Roach. Roach, a junior DB, 5'10", 125 pounds, but he saw that kind of coming the whole way, and he timed up his hit right with the ball arriving with Perez.
Yeah, when you're going to run a play like that, you're anticipating that the DB is going to start falling back, thinking, well, okay, I'm going to give myself a little bit of room. He did not. He really kind of held his ground, and as that play developed, he could see it the whole way, and he put on a really nice tackle there.
Motion there from James. They hand it off to him. He cuts it right up the middle, goes over the guard and defensive tackles. That's enough for the first down, Jeff. That's right down the line from where we're seated up here in the Crow's Nest. That is going to get waived.
Don't know if I love the spot from watching it from my angle. It looked like he got well past
it. I was saying now they signal up like I'm still not sure looking down the line like we are at the 46 and that's where the first down marker was. So a little delayed, but we did get what we ultimately thought was pretty obvious. But nice job by the officiating crew. Got it spotted. Everybody got their positions. They looked, gave a signal to each other, moved the chains, and now we're 1st and 10 from the Baltic 46. Pump fake from Oberle. He rolls out to the right. Pressure's coming. He just gets rid of it, throws it to Malachi James. Intentionally kind of grounds it, but gets it right to a receiver out there. Pressure was coming. I believe that was number 50 or 60?
60.
Okay, that was number 60, Trevor Cooperis.
It's the first game of the season. You can kind of expect sometimes you're going to do some things that are maybe not natural. And right there, the tendency for a quarterback to say, I got to get out of the pocket. Right there, it looked like Oberle probably could have stayed in that pocket, or maybe there was something in front of him. But a lot of times you want to try escape, so what you do is you roll out. Well, in that particular case, number 60 is just waiting out there for you and has the range to make that play.
Watchdogs, a little trick play. That's Malachi James kind of coming back. We're going to get called for, no, we did not get called for a holding there. I thought he was up inside on the block there. Malachi James, that started at the 46-yard line, so that's a 46-yard touchdown run by Malachi James. They went direction to the right. James countered back to the left, inside handoff, and he breaks a couple tackles.
And there was actually a little trickery in there because the ball was originally handed off to Hayden.
Hayden, yes.
And then he handed it. So it was like the shortest and smallest reverse I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, when Hayden kind of looked and he turned around and saw him going, he kind of put his hands up. So, bobbled snap, and Henderson does kind of go emergency route out there, and they throw it to him. Does not get it in, but Watchdogs do maintain a 7 point edge here now, so it's Watchdogs 13, Baltic 6. 8:45 to go here in the second quarter. You know, that's kind of fun. That gets the crowd going. Look at the students.
Core Cares helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota, specializing in
Testing with them, missing the extra point there, and obviously when it's early in the season like this, special teams are still not really refined, and when you see something like this, you're really put yourself back in a position of only being ahead by 7 points, and from what we could tell so far, Bulldogs probably don't have a kicker, so you give up another touchdown, you know that the Bulldogs are going to go for 2 and try to take that lead here. And we got, maybe this is a drive where they can take some time off the clock and work their way down the field and try to take the lead here before half.
Diego, did you get all that on camera? Is all that recorded in the official historic books of Watchdogs.live Dogbone Entertainment?
Yep, I can confirm that was in fact recorded into the Watchdogs touchdown history.
That was a confirmation, 100%. It's there. You got it?
Yep.
Okay, good work, Diego. Again, the Dogbone Entertainment crew helping us out here tonight is Axel Birian and Diego Hernandez. All right, Watchdogs kicking off here. A quick turnaround. Hayden Hoffman going to kick deep. It's going to go to the right side for Baltic. It's number 23. He's got some room up the middle. He is met by number 65. Tackle there was made by Kason Voss.
And that's 3 returns now, essentially about 30 yards from the time of where they caught it to where they finally get their first contact and get tackled. So we can see right now there's some things that the Watchdogs are going to have to work on, or the Bulldogs are just executing on all levels on 3 of these at a row. It could be a combination of both, but there's definitely something happening inside of that. Interesting to watch as the game goes on, because now, as you know, they're effective running in the middle. Maybe they run something that's a little bit trickier, or maybe try to throw the ball over the other side as you start to hone in on trying to stop them from getting up the middle.
Yeah, they're going to be 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line. Time isn't really an issue, but 8.5 minutes does kind of tick away quick when you're, running the ball every play. It doesn't take long, and in 8 minutes kind of slides away. So we'll see what head coach Houston Wenzel and the rest of his coaching staff does here. I believe this was just probably a heat timeout.
Yeah, 62 yards on the ground. 8 minutes can go by real fast. I'm sure I think there was 1 timeout taken so far.
Yeah, it's showing one used on Baltic's side. I believe they took one earlier. So I believe this last one probably just was a heat timeout taken by the officials. All right, Baltic's back out here. Defense is set for the Watchdogs. 1st and 10, Baltic 38. Quarterback is under center. 2 wing backs. Straight dive up the middle. Contact's made near the line of scrimmage, but the back does get away. He powers ahead for a gain of 11. That's going to be 1st and 10 from the Baltic 49-yard line. Gain of 11. Not going to take long at 11 yards of chop here, but
we've seen some good effort running tonight. We've also seen some of that, what happens in the first parts of the season. Tackling is not on point. A lot of diving, shooting at feet, that sort of thing. And so you're going to see some tackles getting broke tonight, and that's pretty common for high school football in that first week or two.
All right, so Scott Vold under center, stuck with that double tight, double wing. He keeps it. The clock is running, so he went down in the field of play. The arm was swinging, so the clock should remain running as it is. Gain of 5 on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Baltic Bulldogs. Erickson comes in from the far side for Baltic with a fresh play. Relays that off to Gavin Scottfold. One receiver out to the left. Still got the double wing.
Oh.
Pressure's coming. Got him, Ian Henderson. Big play from the junior coming off of the Watchdogs defensive right side. Scottfold had no idea he was coming on that blind side. He did quick roll and try to get away, but at that point, Henderson was already there, made contact and tripped him up. Huge loss for Baltic. 7 minutes and counting on the clock. Henderson with a big play.
Yeah, we all know that when you blitz, it's a gamble. Anything that happens behind you at that point, it's probably going to go for a big gainer. Timing was great. Like you said, Scottville didn't see it coming. The fact it was his blind side, and Henderson went in there completely untouched. So great call by the Watchdogs. Now we've got the Bulldogs backed up, so we're going to see what Scottville's got. It looks like it's going to have to be a throwing down. If they don't pick it up here, you're probably in a punting position. They're going to keep it on the ground.
Yeah, it was 3rd and 15. Going to carry it around the left side. That gains 5, so we're back to the original line of scrimmage on the 49-yard line. So it's 4th and 10 here, 6 minutes and 13 seconds on the clock. Baltic does bring in a couple of substitutions. They do have a player back. Again, I believe that's number 1, Ben Erickson, that punted earlier. Again, not a huge net gain. Back for the Watchdogs is Malachi James, and I believe that's Ian Henderson.
Yeah, love to wonder what, or am wondering, and would love to hear of what went through that decision to run the ball. They must have had something they felt was pretty confident was going to pick up a first down, but a lot of yards there to gain and decide that you're going to run the ball. You know, there is 5.5 minutes left, a little over 5.5 minutes left, and you're punting it away, and the momentum seemed to be on their side a bit if they could pick up another first down. So that call surprises me a little bit, and unfortunately it didn't work out for the Bulldogs, and they had to punt it.
Yeah, we were talking 8 minutes and change. Again, ground and pound for 60-some yards. Now Watchdogs, defensively did a great job there. Still 5 minutes and 43 seconds on the clock. Wind really isn't an issue. Left, right, north, south, whichever way you're going here. You can see the flags on the far side just barely waving, so that's not really an issue. Watchdogs now looking to make, an 80-yard run here with 5 minutes. They're going to start up the middle, get a decent little gainer. 3 yards, we'll call it. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Watchdogs.
And last year, this type of play that we just saw here with Oberle taking it up the middle, it becomes a little bit of their identity. It makes me nervous because you have your starting quarterback, carrying the ball quite a bit throughout the game. But he seems very comfortable doing it, and he likes to pick up those tough yards on the inside, which a lot of quarterbacks don't like to do. So he's a cross of a running back and a quarterback, but does have the skill set to throw the ball as well. So Beresford's pretty fortunate to have someone like that really is going to be at the helm for a full 4 years.
Yeah, yep. Again, great athlete, multi-sport athlete for the Watchdogs. Quick throw out to the left side. Perez in open space. Gets wrapped up. Gain of a few. Perez put in a lot of work. I walk into the gym sometimes at odd hours, and that kid's out there just doing some maneuvers and sprints on the gym floor in the winter. A lot of nights in the summer, if I go by the school, I see him and Oberle and other teammates out here running outs and goes. And, there's a nice little timing play they could tell was put together through a lot of off-season work.
And don't be surprised if you see that play set up something bigger. That defensive back, number 12, Cale Roach, he saw that now a couple times, and both times he was all over it. Next time they run that, it might be a pump fake to see if they can get Roach creeping up, and it turns into a play over the top.
There's the touchdown play kind of rerun, or at least a version of it. Enough for Malachi James to go for 10-plus yards. Watchdogs with now 4 minutes hitting on the clock. Still plenty of time on their own 36-yard line, 1st and 10. Shout out to one of our Watchdogs.live own. I'm assuming Ryan James is probably tuning in from out of state, checking in on nephew Malachi and Dexton. Okay, Watchdogs get the offensive formation reset. Oberle scrambling. Pressure is there. Does a nice job of holding on to the ball. Again, just too much pressure. Not sure what they were setting up. They had receivers far down the field, so they were looking to chuck and take a stab at something.
And I think initially it looked like there was some openings in front of Ashton, and then it just all kind of closed up really quick. And so it probably, for a moment there, looked like, hey, I've got a really nice seam here and could probably get a big gainer. But, boy, that closed up quick. And now you're sitting here, 2nd and 15.
Yeah, loss of 5
minutes.
there. So
I think here you take your time, let a lot of this clock burn down, even if you end up forced into a punt here with 4th down. If there's not much time left, at least you can get out of this half.
Watchdogs do go 3 receivers on the left side, which would be the near shallow side of the field. Quick little pump fake, and then Oberly had the keeper gain of maybe 1. Again, the clock will run. It'll be now 3rd and 14 here for the Watchdogs.
And these are the woes of a fresh offensive line. You don't have a lot of time back there because you don't have a ton of experience. You don't have that chemistry. And you're also playing live opponents. They don't just, go through the same motions. They don't stay in the same gaps. There's blitzes. There's all kinds of things. And so when you get in live fire, that's when your offensive line has to have trust and know what the person next to him is doing. Those blitz pickups, if you assume that the other player's picking him up, he assumes that you're picking it up, you're going to get some free runners in there, and that's always bad for your quarterback.
Yeah, no 2-minute warning in high school football. But the quarterback, Oberly, was standing right next to assistant coach Owen Ronaldo. They were watching the back judge. He's the one timing the play clock, and he signals his hand. They took a timeout. They wanted to burn as much clock as they could. So we'll go to one quick commercial break here. Axel back after 1.
Like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. Core Cares, proudly serving our community.
Now's the perfect time to bring your tractor, combine, windrower, or self-propelled sprayer into Grossenberg Implement for an air conditioner checkup. For just $150, their certified techs will inspect and make sure your AC is running at peak performance, so you can stay cool in the field all season long. Visit your local Grossenberg Implement and talk to a service manager for full details. Grossenberg Implement, keeping you cool where it counts.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything?
Our fans, welcome back. Watchdogs.live, Dogbone Entertainment. 1:51 to go here on the clock. 3rd down. Watchdogs do have a little tighter formation on this play. Motion out of James. Oberly's going to keep it. Does break a couple tackles here. Tackle came from behind by number 24. That's Bryce Campbell, the sophomore, 6 foot, 170 pounds. Clock will tick here before Watchdogs are forced to snap the ball on 4th down. Jeff, an opportunity, again, brand new scoreboard. Opportunity to recognize First Dakota National Bank here in town. Doug Allardynes and the rest of the team, we appreciate their partnership of everything we do here with our athletic programs. And just, again, another continuation of their support, helping us get the Jim Heron Field scoreboard set up and going as we had just a board that had kind of aged itself over time. Close to 20 years old. It was time for a new one, so we appreciate their support.
Yeah, Beresford's getting ready to punt here. Right now, if you're the Watchdogs, you're okay with this. If you're the Bulldogs, you're okay with this. Both teams right now are probably content with, hey, we know there's not a whole lot of time left. We're going to get the ball punted to us. We're going to see if we can make something happen. Try not to put the ball in harm's way, I'm sure, so they end up with a turnover or something like that to finish the half.
Yeah, Watchdogs do take another timeout as they had it. Again, opportunity to talk about what they're doing. Axel, we'll go to one quick commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
Any better. But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide.
Our fans, welcome back to Watchdogs.live, Dogbone Entertainment. Again, Watchdogs back in punt formation. That's the junior number 18, Hayden Hammenberg, 6'3", 160 pounds. Had one punt already tonight, at least from my memory, and got a great roll and bounce on it. Baltic does have one returnman back. See if I can move just enough where I can get a number for you, but ball kind of rolls straight sideways. Schilling is over there. Watchdogs, eventually he touches it. Baltic will take over 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. We'll just stay live with the action here. 49 seconds before we go to half. Beresford 13, Baltic 6.
I'm going to imagine Baltic's going to come out, see if they can pick up some yards here, get themselves in a position to try and get a score. I don't know if they have a kicker based on the fact they went for 2, so it's probably an all-or-nothing type of thing. If you're Beresford, you don't want anything to get behind you. Everything's got to stay in front of you. You're going to run out of time. If you can just keep the ball in play and not let them get out of bounds. So this will be a matter of Beresford probably playing back and playing soft.
And Baltic is content to put a couple wide receivers, but just hand it off to the back. That's number 22, Jackson Gehring. Clock is ticking, 33 on the clock. They are going to come up here and snap another play. 2 receivers right. Looking to toss, pressure's coming.
Oh.
Eventually hit, and the ball came free. Ball still free.
I think that ended up being a turnover. Now there's only 14 seconds left, but what a hit. I could feel it up here in the booth.
Tate Lyle comes out of the bottom with it. I can't tell you exactly where the hit came from or who it was.
Well, Scotvold, escaped a little danger, got out, ended up taking on the brunt of the hit, in front of him, but Case and Boss was right in behind, and someone else kind of flew in, and boy, there was a big shot there. And Scotvold probably wishes he could have that back. Maybe he would have just took a knee and just tried to get out of this half, but unfortunately ended up being a turnover. And you want to say Beresford's in business, but with 14 seconds, you really need to hit something here as far as a pass play.
Yeah, we'll see what kind of trickery
could be
Coach Lickness and company have got lined up here. James in motion, going to roll right, pressure's on. Does find James out in the open, get out of bounds, stop the clock, and he did. So gain of about 16, we'll call it. 6 seconds on the clock. So now Watchdogs on the 21-yard line of Baltic. They've got a chance to throw something in here. Oberle's got the arm for this.
He does. Last year we saw this. He's got the ability to drop back here. If he's got to throw from the 40-yard line, he's going to be able to get it to the end zone. So it wouldn't surprise me if they just take the shot, get it up high, hope that you have somebody up there that can rip that ball down.
Yeah, so we've got James, Henderson, Hoffman,
Perez. Now the offensive line, that these defensive linemen are going to pin their ears back, so let's just see if they can hold.
Throws it up. That's James, 1-on-1, 2-on-1. Ball does bounce free. We're supposed to get a home clock operator advantage here where we save a second.
Well,
But
I think we had a home field call because it looks like James had a really nice push off trying to get to that ball. So one way or another, it was probably best that the half just ended where it did.
All right, well, the clock operator's right next door. I will have a couple words with him about how this last 6 seconds should have gone. But that's one half of the books here, Jeff. Watchdogs 13, Baltic 6. Diego, any thoughts here before we go to the halftime break and stretch our legs?
Be a pretty even match so far, but Watchdogs have managed to capitalize a few more plays than usual, or not than usual, but than the Baltic.
All right, Diego, this is our opportunity to get a break. Fans, 15 minutes on the clock. They'll come back out after this 15, and they'll put another, I believe, 3 on. So we're going to be about 18 minutes. We'll be back with the second half. Big East Conference football, 11B action. Beresford Watchdogs, Baltic Bulldogs. We'll be back right after this halftime break.
And Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Customer service is more than just a word. It's what Jensen Insurance Agency and Auto Owners Insurance does every day.
We have more companies than most agencies in town. We're able to find a competitive market for each family. We're able to farm that out, quote it with each of our carriers, including auto owners insurance, of course, and see where it best fits.
In Sioux Falls, Beresford, and Elk Point, go to JensenAgencyOnline.com to find out more. Jensen Insurance Agency, building relationships since 1944.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Are you stuck in a job that gives you no family life? Work for Sioux Steel and enjoy a 4-day work week. Choose from first or second shift and receive a sign-on bonus. Sioux Steel builds farm bins and livestock solutions. Sioux Steel is hiring right now for machine operators and general laborers for both first and second shift. Sioux Steel makes it easy to apply. Go to their ProTech division in Lenox for walk-in interviews Monday through Thursday from 1 till 5, or apply online at SiouxSteel.com. Join the Sioux Steel team and work a flexible, family-friendly 4-day work week.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs, there's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Fiesta Foods in Beresford is a family-owned grocery store that offers a convenient one-stop shop for everything you need when it comes to groceries. With their weekly ad and their website, you can also find the deals in every aisle. And don't forget about their butcher counter in the back that features the best cuts of meat in the area. Fresh bakery and fresh produce, Fiesta Foods has it all when you're looking to shop in the Beresford area. No matter the season, open 7 days a week. It's Fiesta Foods in Beresford.
Honesty. We try to be honest about everything, and if there's a problem, we try to fix it. We've kept the family name going for 75 years. I think that's something to be very proud of. I'm Mike Weeman from Weeman Land and Auction out of Marion, South Dakota. And my middle name is Earl. I'm named after my grandfather. And being an auctioneer isn't all about how fast you are or how good your chant is. It's how the people appreciate your name and accept your name. He told me that once. So that's a one that I hold pretty close. He'd be proud, I think.
Ag Service Partners is your trusted company for Pioneer seed, chemicals, and crop insurance. Pioneer Seeds has developed and tested products to meet your challenges in the field. Ag Service Partners also has you covered when the white rain comes or anything else you may need with crop insurance. Tested and tried chemicals right here in the area to provide the best yield for your field. Write down the number and contact Ag Service Partners for the best farming season year in and year out.
For over 80 years, Sioux Corporation has been designing and manufacturing industrial pressure washers, steam cleaners, water heaters, water chilling systems, and steam generators to serve the needs of their customers. Sioux Premium Equipment is designed and built with reliability, performance, durability, and user safety as its top priorities. Sioux is locally owned and operated in Beresford and a proud supporter of all things Watchdog activities.
When it comes to advertising, reaching the right market while giving back to the school is just plain right. If you're looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your home team or reach the region. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Heath Nimke today and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Whether you're trying to be the next best amateur, or if you're like me and pretending you know anything about this game, then the Bridges at Beresford is the best 9-hole course in the area. I think I missed him. The Bridges has everything you're looking for in a course, including a casual atmosphere and also a challenge on the greens. And the Bridges has a banquet space available too for your gatherings, so if you aren't into golf, they can still accommodate your needs. Visit their website today and find out more. What? I get as many mulligans as I want.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Yeah. Another one. Yep. Man, this town's changed. Yeah. About damn time.
Beresford Telephone is your full-service local telephone company, providing telephone service, sales, high-speed fiber optic internet packages, and professional surveillance systems for both commercial and residential customers. Beresford Telephone also offers the only in-town gig-certified internet provider, which offers the highest speed services. Wanting to upgrade your existing service? Contact Beresford Telephone today and let them get started on your high-speed services in no time.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part, earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Farming is more than a livelihood. It's a legacy. Simplot was founded by a hardworking farmer like you over 90 years ago, and we've been growing America's farms for generations. With local crop advisors grounded in your success, Simplot Grower Solutions is in your fields and by your side. We dig in deep to pinpoint what you need, where you need it, when you need it, even when the forecast is unpredictable.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed and stay safe. And remember, one pill can take one. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
Shields All Sports Store is your one stop for everything outdoors, with local experts eager to guide you through the widest selection of brands. Your one stop for exercise gear to get working out or fashions for going out. And your one stop for footwear in your size, your style, yours to take home today. Shields, employee owned, community minded, and like no place you've ever shopped before.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace is the only hardware retailer that carries Benjamin Moore paint at over 3,800 stores. With Benjamin Moore's premium quality, you can be confident you're getting the best. You can buy in store or order what you need online for curbside pickup or delivery. When you want the best, Benjamin Moore paint from Ace at participating stores.
Find Benjamin Moore paint and other great products at your locally owned Olson's Ace Hardware in Beresford.
CoreCares helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. CoreCares, proudly serving our community.
Now's the perfect time to bring your tractor, combine, windrower, or self-propelled sprayer into Grossenberg Implement for an air conditioner checkup. For just $150, their certified techs will inspect and make sure your AC is running at peak performance, so you can stay cool in the field all season long. Visit your local Grossenberg Implement and talk to a service manager for full details. Grossenberg Implement, keeping you cool where it counts.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
Customer service is more than just a word. It's what Jensen Insurance Agency and Auto Owners Insurance does every day.
We have more companies than most agencies in town. We're able to find a competitive market for each family. We're able to farm that out, quote it with each of our carriers, including Auto Owners Insurance, of course, and see where it best fits.
In Sioux Falls, Beresford, and Elk Point, go to jensenagencyonline.com to find out more. Jensen Insurance Agency, building relationships since 1944.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Are you stuck in a job that gives you no family life? Work for Sioux Steel and enjoy a 4-day work week. Choose from first or second shift and receive a sign-on bonus. Sioux Steel builds farm bins and livestock solutions. Sioux Steel is hiring right now for machine operators and general laborers for both first and second shift. Sioux Steel makes it easy to apply. Go to their Protect Division in Lenox for walk-in interviews Monday through Thursday from 1 till 5, or apply online at siouxsteel.com. Join the Sioux Steel team and work a flexible, family-friendly 4-day work week.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Fiesta Foods in Beresford is a family-owned grocery store that offers a convenient one-stop shop.
School, Cortland Carnes Stadium, Jim Heron Field. This Big East Conference 11B matchup between the visiting Baltic Bulldogs and your home Beresford Watchdogs. We already talked, Jeff, about next week. Beresford will go 2 home, 2 away, 2 home, 2 away, and we'll have a bye week in between there. So it's going to be a stretch where it's like 3, almost 4 weeks before we really have a home game. But next week we do host the Parker Pheasants. We referenced that will be the field dedication for Jim Heron. So again, if you're going to be here by 6:30, 6:35, 6:40, as that dedication will happen during the coin toss prior to the first kickoff, which again, all the festivities and lineups beforehand. So be here early if you're going to be part of that. Next week, Baltic gets their first home game. They're going to host another Big East Conference, the Flandreau Flyers. Watchdogs did defer in the first half, so they're going to take the ball here, obviously, in the second. Nice return on the right side over there. Was that Henderson?
I think that was Henderson, yep.
He brings that out to the 35-yard line, so Watchdogs in a good position here, again, working right to left, south to north. Again, the wind is now, what little was there is completely gone, Jeff, as we are getting no breeze through the booth here, and the flags on the far side are hanging still.
Yeah, that's a dead stick over there for sure. We're not seeing the flags hardly move at all, and you know, it's really going to have no impact or bearing on this football game for sure. But what will have an impact and bearing on this is the big plays. I mean, if you look back, what happened here in the first half, you know, one of these drives started with a punt that only ended up being a 10-yard net. James' big play, Dexton Miller's big play, and it's really been a matter of the big scores versus just grind it out and putting together long drives. It's really just hitting home runs. So whoever hits the most home runs tonight is probably going to be the one that comes out on top.
That was Schilling carrying the ball for a loss of a couple, brought down by number 12, Cale Roach, the junior, 5'10", 125 pounds. He went low, as he would need to at that frame versus frame. Watchdogs now 2nd and 12 from their own 33. Oberle's back in the gun, 3 receivers to the right. Quick hit over to the right side. Ball was dropped. Defender was right there. Number 22 defensively was Jackson Gehring, the senior linebacker.
Those can be a little dangerous. You know, that one there was pretty close to going right down the line. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the rules, if that ball is delivered and is thrown backwards, so wherever Oberle is standing, if he throws that ball backwards, that is the same as a handoff. So if that ball doesn't get caught and it ends up on the ground, it's the same as a fumble. So on those particular plays, you really need to make sure that you're throwing that ball forward. So in the event that it's dropped, it just ends up being an incomplete pass, and you can, oh, nice catch.
Oh, heck of a play. So wide open in the middle of the field. Receivers, Watchdogs went 2 by 2. 2 receivers on the right or far side, 2 receivers on the near side. Ran a little cross on that right side. That was Henderson, correct?
Correct.
Henderson across the middle. I believe it was James that went out into the flat. Threw it, one-handed it, brought it in as he kind of spun. Man, big play there for the Watchdogs as they were up against 3rd and 12. Now they're 1st and 10 in Baltic territory from the 47.
Well, and have the wherewithal to hang on to the ball after you get crushed. I mean, Scott was right there and put a helmet right between his numbers. So
here's Schilling. 12-yard gain from Schilling. Good for a Watchdog first down.
And now we're starting to see, you know, if we get Schilling going, he starts to get some of these tough yards on the inside. That's going to open up some of these plays on the perimeter, and that's really where Beresford wants to attack. They've got skilled players on the perimeters. They've got some speed, they're not going to be someone that's going to just sit and grind away with this offensive line, at least not yet in this part of the season.
So Watchdogs will go tight end to the right with a wing back over on the right. Pull, I believe it was the guard and tackle, or maybe it was center guard, and work off that right side. Short gain of a couple, going to bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Schilling picked up a couple tough yards. Looked like he was going to get stalled out for a no gain. He kind of shucked a guy right off to the side and was able to fall forward. And he's another one of those players where, we're using him basically as an inside type of runner. He's someone that we may want to consider throwing the ball out into the flats and letting him use his strength of being on the outside there and take on some smaller defenders.
They brought Schilling in for a quick breather, bring in Dexton Miller. Brother Malachi James with the ball. Juke move goes left. Stiff arm. Touchdown.
We talked about it earlier.
The lineman on the near side took forever, but he got down there and raised his arms.
Yep.
So Malachi James with a couple moves, the speed. He had the ball in his right arm, moved it to the left, which then freed up that right arm to give the stiff arm. Malachi James, again, I forget the exact line we're on, but he ran a 40-some yarder before. That was a 40-some yarder.
Well, we talked about this earlier. He's very tough to tackle, and we talked about this as well. Home run plays. There's another home run play, and whoever can effectively string these together tonight is probably going to come out on top. So Baltic now being down a couple scores, at least a couple touchdowns. Now do you see them go into desperation mode? Do they have the patience to just keep trying to move the ball on the ground, or do they need to kind of switch into a passing mode, which I think ultimately might play a little bit more into Beresford's hands? So let's just see what Baltic has up their sleeve on this next drive. It's probably going to show what their tactics and strategy is going to be as we move forward for the rest of this game, unless they can put up a couple quick scores and get this game a little closer. But right now they have not had a really strong answer for James.
Yeah, Malachi James puts the big run in. He comes off on the point extra after attempt. Peyton Hoffman gets that one to go. James talking directly to head coach Scott Ebert. Again, trust between those two at this point in their careers together here on the sideline.
He's going to tell them that no more air horns in the crowd. Somebody's blowing air horns.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick administrative here, Jeff. I'll let you take off.
Okay. So Beresford's up 20-6. And as we just mentioned, Baltic now being down 2 scores, we're going to have to see what the strategy is going to be. Right now we haven't seen a ton of effective passing plays. The ground game has had some success at times. Peyton Hoffman to kick. Kind of a slow roller in the middle. Should not set up a real strong return. That might be by design. Baltic's had some success with the return game tonight, giving themselves some good field position. Haven't been able to capitalize on a whole lot of the strong returns that they've had. And I think Coach Ebert probably said, you know what, let's not give up a big play and put this team right back in it. Let's just kick it, give them a little bit better field position, but kind of take the whole return game out of the pitcher. And when you kick the ball on the ground like that, it really kind of screws up your strategy is trying to get a return, and you get a couple free runners down there, and the tackles usually happen pretty quickly. So Baltic shows up in a tight formation. Does not look like they're looking to pass quite yet.
Quick dive up the middle. That's number 74 blocking that up. Cameron Molinix. Cameron, a junior interior lineman, 5'10", 200 pounds.
And this is that time of the game. If you're Beresford, yes, you've got some inexperience on the line. You get up 20-6, confidence starts to build. Confidence starts to build. All of a sudden the plays start to happen. Guys play a little faster. They don't have to think as much. It gives you a little bit of a cushion there for mistakes. And you get a little more aggressive on your play calling as well. So we'll see if Baltic can be resilient here, not get their head down. You know, that last year, I don't know if they were able to muster up a win or not, but sometimes when you end up with that culture where you get down by a couple touchdowns and you start to hang your head, you got to show up some resilience, and we'll see what they've got here.
Yeah, quick little dive. Now bounce out to the left. Heck of a run there. Looking good. That is Norby. We referenced him earlier, getting just a little nicked up, but he looked good on that play.
Yeah, he's back. He's got something on his knee. He doesn't look quite like he's running full speed on the way back to the huddle, but awfully shifty on that run. And he's really been the difference maker tonight. The tough runs that he's had, even though he's lost his helmet on a couple of those, he's got a lot of fire. And someone like that is someone that maybe can pop one of these plays and put him right back in this game.
Yeah, 20-6, certainly not out of it. We're 8:23 to go here in the third. Sticking with a really tight formation, they're going to shift things up. Now they're going to go even tighter. Motion now right to left, countering back. Ball must have gotten free. Quarterback Scott Vold dove right in there right away. Don't see a lot of excitement from the Watchdog defenders, so I'm assuming that Baltic got back on top of it. Yep, and that is Scott Vold coming out of the bottom of the pile. So lost down there. Now it's showing 4th and 1 on the board and about 4th and a long 1 on the sticks. Big defensive play here. Baltic looks like they're shifting some guys in, but
you really have to go. It's early in the game, but right now you really need to give your team some confidence here. And punting right now tells you that we're not really confident that we can pick up that yard. Boy, if you pick up a first down here and keep those chains moving.
Okay, they are going to take a timeout.
I think they want to talk about this.
So head coach Houston Wenzel does want a timeout. So, again, were they going to set up a fake punt, or were they really going to punt it? And now, again, looking at the clock, maybe an opportunity just as a coaching staff to talk about it. Axel, why don't you take us to a quick commercial break? We'll be back right after this.
For everything you need when it comes to groceries. With their weekly ad and their website, you can also find the deals in every aisle. And don't forget about their butcher counter in the back that features the best cuts of meat in the area. Fresh bakery and fresh produce, Fiesta Foods has it all when you're looking to shop in the Beresford area. No matter the season, open 7 days a week. It's Fiesta Foods in Beresford.
Honesty. We try to be honest about everything, and if there's a problem, we try to fix it. We've kept the family name going for 75 years. I think that's something to be very proud of. I'm Mike Weeman from Weeman Land and Auction out of Marion, South Dakota. And my middle name is Earl. I'm named after my grandfather. And being an auctioneer isn't all about how fast you are or how good your chant is. It's how the people appreciate your name and accept your name. He told me that once. So that's one that I hold pretty close. He'd be proud.
All right, welcome back. We're tight formation, a ton of linemen. Quick dive. I think they stuffed him.
Boy, I don't know if they got it. Now,
the near side.
It's close.
The near side's on the 42. The far side looks like he's maybe closer to the 43. It is going to be close. Look at the Beresford coaching staff pointing their arm to the north. Didn't get it. The near linesman is going to get the mark. Turnover on down, so the referee points to the north. Turnover on downs, and the Watchdog fans like that. That's a big defensive stop, Jeff.
It is, man. If you're Baltic, I like the fact that they went for it. I think you're going to tell your kids, hey, I believe in you. But, boy, the risk with that is you don't get it. Man, you've got a morale issue going on right now. And, I think that there was something there. It kind of looked like he slipped or ran into the back of a blocker. His feet came out from under him, but he just got kind of stoned right there at the line. And
I think defensively the Watchdog defender just got lower and pushed the lineman up.
Yeah, they certainly didn't get the push, and that's what stopped him. And then people were to come in and clean it up. But
and
it's a huge stop.
Now is a lot of times where you see coordinators now want to take the shot, right?
Yep.
You get the turnover and you go, let's throw it deep. Where twins left, trips right. And they just run overly out in the open space and go, that's fine. Follow these two out here and those three over there, and we're going to find a gap, and we're going to gain 5, 6, 7 yards. And we've got a player down with kind of that cramp indication where they kind of hold the leg up.
Yeah, when you spread everybody wide, looks like you're going to take that, proverbial, I'm going to take the shot. And everyone starts dropping back. Oberly recognizes, okay, they definitely know what's coming. Let's just go ahead and take it, and end up taking a pretty good pop. About 2 yards past the line of scrimmage, and it really carried his momentum forward another 5 yards before he fell. Kind of worked out. Every once in a while you might take a good hit, but if you're falling forward, it's always positive news for the offense.
All right, again, we're still stretching and work on that. Axel, one quick commercial break. We'll be back right after this injury timeout.
Ag Service Partners is your trusted company for Pioneer seed, chemicals, and crop insurance. Pioneer Seeds has developed and tested products to meet your challenges in the field. Ag Service Partners also has you covered when the white rain comes or anything else you may need with crop insurance. Tested and tried chemicals right here in the area to provide the best yield for your field. Write down the number and contact Ag Service Partners for the best farming season year in and year out.
For over 80 years, Sioux Corporation has been designing and manufacturing industrial pressure washers, steam cleaners, water heaters, water chilling systems, and steam generators to serve the needs of their customers. Sioux Premium Equipment is designed and built with reliability, performance, durability, and user safety as its top priorities. Sioux is locally owned and operated in Beresford and a proud supporter of all things Watchdog activities.
All right, fans, welcome back. Watchdogs.live, Dogbone Entertainment. That was number 11, Jack Wiseman, again, the senior. Just really gave the indication of a leg cramp. Watchdogs quickly up to the line, 3 receivers to the left, got 1 wingback to the right. Jeff, we had the opportunity to, during all the silence, kind of hear what the coaches were talking about next door in the booth. Don't think this is how they drew it up. But
we've got someone down, and they're holding a knee.
Watchdogs with an injury.
And I'm nervous that might be. Is that Hayden Schilling?
Well, it might be Henderson with the brace on the knee.
Oh, sure.
The other knee.
I think you're right. We are privy to hear some information, and the one thing that. During halftime, I was talking with somebody in the stands about the play that James took to the house in the first half, where it was basically 2 handoffs, and they picked up a first down with it. And they had said, yeah, that play worked once but not twice. Well, it did work twice, and the one thing that happens with those types of plays, they're slightly gimmicky, but they're very low risk because the handoffs are happening in a small box. And the other part of it, too, is you get to see now what the defense is doing. And it gives you the opportunity now to block that differently, and you might recognize there's a key block that you missed the last time you ran it, and then it pops for another big gainer.
What you were seeing there, fans, is, again, thanks to the Watchdog Foundation, helped us get some funds. The Booster Club, the Beresford School, Frostbite for Road Race Committee. So one of the things we were able to put in there is some equipment that allows us to do replays. So that was one of those shots that you saw kind of grabbed and thrown back up there as we had a break in the action. That is Henderson coming off under his own power, so that's okay. A really good sign. Watchdogs now, again, 3 receivers out to the left. Tight end on the right side with a wingback. That's James working left. Stiff arm. Run out of bounds within the 10. I think he's about the 9. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, but I believe he's about at the 9-yard line. 2nd and 5 here for the Watchdogs, well into Baltic territory.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for Watchdogs, obviously, to start to think about putting something away here. If you're able to, keep moving the chains, pick up another first down or a score here, obviously it puts you up 20 points and maybe more.
That's Schilling working off to the right. He cuts back. Yeah. Nobody touches him. 9-yard touchdown run from the senior, number 3, Hayden Schilling. That takes Watchdogs 26, Baltic 6, with 6:14 to go here in the third.
Well, I mentioned at the beginning of the game that he's an X-factor type of player. We don't have someone with that kind of size and speed and that shiftiness, and you just got to see it on display there. Pretty quick, made some guys miss, and I don't think you'd want to be in front of him as you get near the goal line either. So really nice addition to have him on the team this year.
Peyton Hoffman back for the Watchdogs for the point after attempt. Signal is up and good, so Watchdogs 27, Baltic Bulldogs 6. Watchdogs now up by 21. We're going to go to a quick commercial break and come back with the next drive here for the Baltic Bulldogs.
When it comes to advertising, reaching the right market while giving back to the school is just plain right. If you're looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your home team or reach the region. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Heath Nimke today, and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Out here, you learn that to keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
All right, fans, welcome back to Watchdogs.live, Dogbone Entertainment. Student section's having a good fun out there. Diego, we got you live again here. Diego, do they consult you as the... Oh, we don't have a headset on. Well, we'll get him headphoned up here, get that mic right down by his face. Diego, as the voice of the dogs, the student dog section here, do they consult you on any of the themes that they do for the activities?
As far as I remember, I feel like they probably did. I did not, however, remember the themes, though.
So I noticed you didn't go red, white, and blue yet tonight, but there's an opportunity next week. We have some home volleyball on Tuesday. We have home volleyball on Thursday. We have the cross-country kickoff on Thursday, and we have football at home on Friday. So lots of opportunities to dress up in the themes that are established then.
Yep.
Okay, now Baltic, Diego, what are the Baltic student section doing down there? Is that Hawaiian? Is that what that is, or we're going Island Paradise?
This looks like more like a tourist, just like a tourist.
They're tourists, the tourist kind of theme they've got going.
Touring Beresford.
Touring Beresford.
Yes, yep. the shopping capital of the Upper Midwest, balmy Beresford.
All right, big play broken here for Baltic. That's number 22. Jackson Gehring, the senior running back, 5'10", 160 pounds.
We got people down.
We have got a one Baltic Bulldog, one Beresford Watchdog. Both training staff, so we'll come out again, an opportunity to recognize Tyler Hagen with Avera Sports. Appreciate everything Tyler does. He's grabbing a leg like he's going to work on a cramp here, so hopefully nothing major there.
Cooper Breyer looks like there's maybe something a little more serious, more of a knee. It doesn't look like a cramp type of thing, and the way he's behaving down there, he's obviously in some pain.
All right, again, appreciate everything that Tyler Hagen and Avera Sports does for us here with Watchdog Athletics. Again, big thanks to the Beresford ambulance crew is set up where they traditionally do over at the 200-meter start mark. So, again, if you're ever looking for a good cause and a reason to make a donation, send a check to the Beresford ambulance. They'd greatly appreciate it as they continue to try to provide these great services for the Beresford community. They're looking pretty deep there on that leg. Axel, let's take us to another commercial break. We'll be back right after this injury timeout.
Whether you're trying to be the next best amateur, or if you're like me and pretending you know anything about this game, then the Bridges at Beresford is the best 9-hole course in the area. Ooh, I think I missed him. The Bridges has everything you're looking for in a course, including a casual atmosphere and also a challenge on the greens. And the Bridges has a banquet space available too for your gatherings, so if you aren't into golf, they can still accommodate your needs. Visit their website today and find out more. What? I get as many mulligans as I want.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
Our fans, welcome back to Jim Heron Field at Cortland Carnes Stadium. Jeff, an opportunity to recognize a few new faces. We're kind of watching them out there working with the kids right now. Is just some changes within the coaching staff for the Watchdogs. One of them would be Joshua Arlt. Josh came to us last year, coached basketball and helped out with track, and now kind of made the move with an opening into the football side of things. So Lennox Oriole, and here working now as part of the second year of the Watchdogs team. New employee for us, elementary PE teacher, is Noah Gussie, and Noah's got a football background, and he's got a headset on there down there working. I can't tell you specifically if he kind of specializes on the offense or defensive side.
And then the big addition.
Yeah, the big one I just don't know.
No pun intended.
Yeah, that I just don't know when I look is Bobby Jones. Fill me in on Bobby Jones.
Yeah, large individual. So how Bobby Jones ended up here, to give a little bit of a history. So Arlen Lickness, after a fine coaching career up at Hamlin, ended up down in Yankton, and Bobby Jones is one of those former players in Yankton. Had a successful high school career and ended up playing in Michigan State, and joined us here late this year to coach the defensive line. And if you get a chance to be around Bobby Jones, he's got to be somewhere in that area of 6'7", and I'm going to guess he's 300 something. I don't know what to put him at, but he's a large individual. If you need some shade, he's a good person to be standing next to.
Yeah, we appreciate the work that Josh and Noah and Bobby are doing here with the youth in Beresford. Big stop there defensively for the Watchdogs. That was Malachi James coming out of a DP position. Oh, that is Tate Lyle wrapped up the QB. That's going to be a QB sack right there. That's a loss of 1 for sure, 2.
Yeah, a lot of times with the sacks you can see some big shots, whatever. Tate got kind of wrapped around him and hung on. Tate, being a wrestler, is used to that just grab, and a lot of times with this type of situation, the quarterback, they're going to blow the whistle a little quicker because you can get kind of twisted up and you're standing there and you're vulnerable. And so but a nice play. Tate, I think that's two sacks or possibly even 3 here tonight. So
yeah, and he was involved in that fumble recovery. Unfortunately, Tate had to go through a surgery last year, tore his labrum in his shoulder, and ended up having to have surgery on that. So good to see him kind of back and looking good and feeling good.
Earlier we were talking about the fumble there before half, and we weren't sure if Micah James was in on that. I just see that he was in on that last play, and he was over here playing cornerback. So it is a possibility. Smaller freshman, good athlete, but not one that I usually come up and expect a jarring hit.
He was, because when I said this to you, when we went off the air at halftime, I had seen the play unfold, and I looked, and I see number 15 in the mix of it, and ball is loose. I believe Beresford got it back, but now it's a scrum underneath of there. No, they're signaling Baltic just right off the fingertips. I'll finish the story. I see a player come flying in and involved in the hit and the ball coming free. And I'm not going to tell you he for sure did it, but I wasn't for sure who number 15 was. So I glanced down, and I see it's the freshman Micah James, 5'10", 130 pounds. And I look back up, and I go, nah. I go to visit with some family, and they go, "Did you see Micah?" And I go, "Well, yeah, I just wasn't sure it was him." And they go, "It was him."
Well, at 5'10", 130, he's not I don't think he's going to get the nickname Hitman anytime real soon, and he's not the one that I expect a bone-jarring type of hit. But hey, you throw your body around out there, you just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a freshman out there on Friday night playing varsity football,
I'm going for it.
Yeah, do it.
Baltic just returned the favor here. Obviously, it wasn't a turnover, but massive loss. Started with a fumble. Tried to kind of recover with it, hoping that they could make something happen. And, Goring did his best, but ended up slipping and falling down, and what a 15-yard loss.
Yeah, I'm not going to count hash marks here, but the scoreboard showing 2nd and 23. That's what I'm going to go with. Defender for the Watchdogs there. I want to get a good look at who that was. Came in and grabbed by the ankles. That's Hammenberg.
Scott Vold, I think maybe somebody was slow getting up. Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, that's Erickson. Yep. He took the helmet off and walked off kind of slowly. Takes the water on the far side. He is walking around, but was a little shaken there, so he's just stepping it off over on the far side. Baltic 3rd and 26.
Oh,
there's open space
it's
now.
going to turn into a first down.
So 3rd and 26, he picks up about 23. Yeah, we're going to call it close to 23. So now it brings up 4th and about 3, but we've got another Baltic Bulldog down on the logo near midfield. Beresford's trainer is going out there, and there's a second. That's a Watchdog, excuse me. Baltic has a player down on their near sideline.
So the beginning of that play, 52, Caden Shirk looked like he was almost ready to take the handoff amidst that, and ended up getting his hands on the fake, and away they went. Okay, I see it's cramping, and this kind of weather, first game of the season, this is going to happen. And quite frankly, some athletes are a little more susceptible to cramping than others. For whatever reason, I'm not a physiologist, but some are a little more apt to it. And once you get a cramp in a calf or something like that, it's kind of hard to shake off for a lot of them. You can put in a lot of salt, a lot of water, try to be hydrated, and it just sometimes you just can't get over it. So it's actually a lineman, which you don't see all that often, but reminiscent of Jace Adams last year, who was the one of the kings of cramps.
Diego, one of the cures that they sometimes say is pickle juice. Helps you kind of stave off some cramps. Have you ever just taken a jar of pickles and just drank the juice out of the jar? Diego, are you with us? Pickle juice? Have you ever just taken the jar and just drank the juice right out of the jar?
Does not sound like something I would want to do.
Okay, so you're kind of a football guy, like soccer.
Yeah.
Is that something they do in soccer? Do they carry around pickle juice and drink it?
No.
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 But in soccer, you're running so much and it's hot outside. How do they prevent cramps in the game of soccer? Is there any special tricks?
Any special tricks? It's mainly just a bunch of jockeying, really.
Okay, so a lot of water. Just saying, drink a lot of water. Maybe a Powerade or Gatorade.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next time you saddle up to play a little soccer on a weekend or night, just walk in with a jar of pickle juice. All right? And just start drinking the pickle juice and see if it catches on.
I don't think Diego was down with pickle juice, frankly. Hey, you know what, though? I'd love to eat the pickles, and I have drank pickle juice. I don't think that it gave me any type of competitive advantage, although I wasn't drinking pickle juice until I was well out of being in a competitive type of environment. So how do I know? But doing some running and those types of things, I've tried it. There's probably something to it. I don't know. Vinegar, I don't know if there's something to that, but I'm just going to stick more to the straight electrolytes myself.
So, Jeff, we did have some injuries, cramp for the Watchdogs. Not sure what happened on the far side. The big play for Baltic, there was a flag thrown down. Okay, defensively knocked down. I believe that is as the freshman, Micah James.
Hitman.
Big brother, senior Malachi James comes over and says, "That away, bro. You take the left, I'll take the right side of this field." And again, they put him out there. They can trust him. It's the field that they've gathered is athletically, and he's shown he can be physical enough out there. So.
Well, and this is one of those, there's a coaching opportunity there. The ball kind of hung in the air for quite some time. He's totally playing center field on it and waiting. As a DB, you really want to try to attack that ball at the highest point, meaning, and receivers are also taught this, you want to try to get to the highest point because it gives you the advantage to try to get your hands on the ball before the other player. And right there, kind of waiting for it to come, obviously made a great play, broke it up, but take advantage of those balls that hang up there, pick those in, or start picking those off, get the interception, versus just making the conservative play. But it did turn into a fourth down. We did get the turnover either way. So good play by Micah.
Okay, on the screen, the Krause cam is up. During the halftime, Jeff, I did walk all the way down to the entrance gate. I walked down near the finish line on the track, and there is our number one fan, Roger Krause. It was good to see him out and visit with him briefly. The band was playing right in front of us. He loves being around the students. And I said, Roger, you coming? Good to see you tonight. He said, good to see you. And I said, you coming, to the volleyball games next week? And he said, if it's a home game, I'll be there. So,
well, I seen him rubbing his eyes. He may be getting a little bored here with a 27-6, but maybe Baltic will pull something off here and make this a little more competitive. But maybe we're getting past Rogers' bedtime at this point.
Yeah, the Krause cam, and Rogers appears to be doing well. Again, sure he's wishing all of his Watchdog fans the best here tonight, and he just loves supporting Watchdog athletics.
Decade after decade after decade. It's amazing how many games that he's been to.
Wide open in the middle. That's Henderson. Ball came free. Back on it. Looked as if from here, Jeff, that Henderson got back on it, or he might have even been down before it came free. I'm not 100% sure.
Could be.
Okay, so that is Oberle rolling out to his left. Finds Henderson just kind of slowly dragging across the middle of the field. And a nice little easy toss, and Henderson for the first down for the Dogs.
And it's nice to see the Watchdogs are staying aggressive. You can get up 27-6. You can start to get a little complacent. You just start looking at the clock, hoping that it's going to just tick down, and eventually you walk out of here with a win. Those are the moments sometimes where a turnover or something happens, momentum shifts. You want to keep your foot on the gas and keep turning those flags.
Okay, went kind of back to that play with Malachi James coming off that right wing position, coming to the near side of the field here. No gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. Big shout out, Jeff. We talk about the Dog Bone Entertainment team, but it takes a group of adults technically skilled, things that I don't have. So Renee James was here. She's came and volunteered some time the last few nights, helping make sure everything on Live Ticket TV, Watchdogs.live, is set up and ready to go. And great setup here in our booth. We got a huge TV screen showing us what the fans are seeing. Matt Storos helping run the computer, coaching along here with Axel and setting all this equipment up. The city of Beresford, so Beresford Tel was here getting us a fiber line connected, so now we are connected to a 1 gig fiber line. And again, some of those things that we maybe had a little bit of trouble with in the past as we're working a bridge, sending a signal from the school building out here. We hope we've alleviated to bring the best broadcast we can with a group of students and volunteer adults that we can as part of what we call, again, Dog Bone Entertainment and Watchdogs.live.
And I can't stop, just thinking about what Dog Bone Entertainment did for my family. When we moved back here, we lived near in the area, moved up to Fargo, came back. Easton comes in as an 8th grader a few years later. He says he's going to commentate a basketball game with you. And I looked at him and I said, you've never played organized basketball in your life. What do you even know about basketball? Sure enough, he goes in under your mentorship and Matt Storos' mentorship. He gets involved in Dog Bone, falls in love with sports broadcasting and sports marketing and all of that. And we just moved him into the dorms down at USD today. And he's going to major in sports broadcasting and in sports media, and all of that stemmed from Dog Bone Entertainment. So we want to bring a great product to those viewers out there. But on the same token, what an amazing opportunity for these younger people to get involved with something, and maybe someday they fall in love with it the way that my son did, and who knows where they'll go from there. Maybe someday we're watching them on a Sunday or something. Yeah, we appreciate, again, all the volunteers. Our students are here just giving. They don't get credit for this. Maybe on a good night we get them a free meal and a free drink. And Mrs. James, we're going to get Mrs. James back to making some brownies or bars before games. Yeah, we're missing that. I didn't get no treats up here.
Yeah, we'll remind her of that. And, again, Jeff, that also comes back to just a lot of our local businesses and, paying for a little sponsorship and trying to get some coverage on what we're doing here. Henderson with another catch from Oberle. Could be on to something here. Oberle to Henderson. Big gain. That's a 10, 15. That's about 17-yard catch from Oberle to Henderson.
Well, we just saw something right here. This is another coaching moment. Oberle makes a brilliant move, gets the defensive end to kind of bite, gets him up in the air. He runs right past him. He opens a lane for himself and buys some time. Offensive linemen were doing what they can to try to interfere, but once that whole play starts breaking down, offensive linemen now have to put their head on a swivel, continue with the play. You don't get the best seat in the house. You need to go and start looking for someone to hit versus watching the quarterback to see what he's going to do. And so as the awareness builds throughout this season, you'll see these linemen kind of get a better wherewithal, where they're at on the field, seeing themselves in third person and where they are in relation to the quarterback, and making those key blocks versus watching to see what happens. It's just a matter of time. I mean, that's just one thing that happens in the game of football. You throw someone in there that doesn't have a ton of experience, they just can't spatially see where they fit and what's coming next, and it kind of becomes reactive versus proactive, and your good players eventually start to see what's going on around them, and they have a high football awareness and a high football IQ because of it.
That last play was a real nice quick hitter. That was Oberle to Elias Perez. Again, reference to Elias and kind of the work ethic that he's put in. It was just a 5-yard quick slant in. Oberle hits him right in stride. He's tackled immediately after the catch, but again, all repetition. Watchdogs change up their cadence potentially here, and 2 or 3 of the Baltic Bulldogs came over the line of scrimmage. So now Watchdogs with a really manageable second and what looks like inches.
So the Bulldogs, they're going, basically 7 or 8 in the box, trying to prevent a run. Missed tackle out here. Looks like Oberle is going to turn the corner and pick up that first down.
Yeah, that was like a naked bootleg. 3 defenders there, and he just kind of outran him or just got free of the grasp.
Yeah, the play kind of seemed like it broke down for a bit, but just speed was able to kind of win that battle, and he was able to turn the corner and pick up the first down. And this is really where you hope to see the Bulldogs can keep their chin up, because those are the plays that really get to kind of be defeating after a while, where you're like, God, we had him, and he's able to escape and pick up that first down. So if they can keep battling here, there's still a lot of football to be played.
Okay, Watchdogs 1st and 10 from the Baltic 30-yard line. This one goes to James. He's tripped up in the backfield. Shooting through there was number 5.
Elias Oakley.
Elias Oakley, a sophomore defensive back, 5'6", 155 pounds. So nice job by Elias Oakley flying through there and catching Malachi James by the ankle.
And we've seen quite a few people miss tackles on Malachi James tonight, so that is not an easy task. And to just get an ankle swipe on there was a difference between him picking up a pretty significant gain versus being a loss.
Okay, substitution here, Jeff. In is number 81, Tegan Nyhog, the senior wide receiver, 6'5", 185 yards. He's on the near side, on the bottom of the screen. Give him a little toss and check.
So here's one of the players that we talked about earlier. One of the reasons that Hayden Schilling ended up coming here. They had a relationship playing basketball with Malachi James and some other club sports, that type of thing. Tegan played football his freshman year. Didn't see a ton of action on varsity, but was doing some things inside of JV. They had been playing around with him at wide receiver, tight end, quarterback. And then he took a couple years off, and he came out again this year, and he looks the part. He's about a 6'5" kid. I'm going to guess, I don't know weight-wise, maybe 200 pounds, somewhere in that area. And they put him out there and went right to him on the very first play. And
that ball popped free. That's a lineman with it. I didn't see it pop free, but big number 60.
Thought that I saw something happen there. Trevor Kapuras ended up.
Yep. So Watchdogs do turn it over. We'll finish up with Tegan here. Again, very gifted athletically. So silky smooth shooting the three-pointer, moving around on a basketball floor. And as soon as I saw him sub in there, it was like, hey, this one's probably going to him.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to see him just keep kind of feeding him there, because they were playing off the ball. And that's one of those where you could kind of see that he was like, hey, I just broke a tackle. Hey, I made a move. And then became a little unsure of what he was supposed to do next and end up going down. But he'll start to get his feet under him and understand as well as the season goes on, and could be a big asset to this offense.
Quick pitch around the right side for Baltic. That's the far side of the field. In on running him out of bounds there was number 13, Peyton Hoffman, the senior DB.
And I think, was that Dylan Runstead that was on the carry there, I think?
Yeah, I missed a number there.
See, we got some.
13, he's grabbing his leg right now, so.
Dealing with some cramps.
Runstead.
I think this is just going to be the theme for the rest of the night. You can see a lot of hands on the hips. People are starting to wear down due to the heat and humidity. So he's going to have to keep cycling people in, keeping people fresh, and keep dumping those electrolytes down the throat.
Couple fake dives, rolls back. He's met at the line of scrimmage.
Another
Tate
sack.
Lyle. Tate Lyle with another one. The junior, number 9, Tate Lyle. Big game back again after the surgery referenced, making an impact defensively for the Dogs.
Yeah, you had to wonder last year of how this was going to work, if he was going to be able to come back after shoulder surgery. And so far this game, he's got quite the nose for the quarterback. And whether he's the first man there and, either cause a sack or he ends up and comes in and kind of cleans things up, he's definitely been in the action in the backfield on these passing plays. And that's really been the difference maker when you look at it from the Baltic Bulldogs. Every time you drop back to pass, it's just kind of a jailbreak.
Dive up the middle. I can see Bentley Shirk there along with a few others. It's Hoffman. Schilling, a few others. So short gain showing 4th and 14. I believe it's closer to like 4th and 12 maybe for Baltic on their own 36-yard line. Tough spot to be here with 7:17 to go in the game. You're down by 21. Showing punt formation, Watchdogs have Henderson and James back. They do get the punt off. A lot of pressure there up the middle. That was number 52, Caden Shirk. Watchdogs are going to let it roll. They're going to take over 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line. Axel, let's do a quick commercial break. We're right back after one.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
All right, fans, welcome back to Watchdogs.live, Dogbone Entertainment. Jared Olson, Jeff Boom, and Diego Hernandez on the call. Helping us out here is Axel Burian and Matt Storo.
Yeah, as this game kind of winds down, Beresford's got 2 goals here. Move the chains, stay healthy. And that's the same way on Baltic. And you got teams here that you're running numbers around 30 total players or less. You cannot afford to have anybody get hurt. And when these games just seem there would be a little bit out of hand, you don't want to see any injuries.
Schilling shakes a tackle.
I think this is going to come back.
Runs head on, but we did see a flag early in all of that.
There was a hold right in the middle there. It looks like somebody darted through, and there was definitely a tackle somewhere in the middle of it. And I don't mean the position. I mean there was a offensive
tackle that made a tackle.
Yep. Yep, there was definitely some wrangling going on in the middle of there of someone that broke through the line early in that process of the play.
Diego.
Yep.
Diego, what are the chances I can get you to come call volleyball with me on Tuesday or Thursday night? You got work, or can you be there to show me a little volleyball knowledge?
Yeah, come in for that.
You think so?
Yeah, I can make it for that.
What if I got Mrs. James to make some brownies or something?
I mean,
probably more likely to do it then?
I mean, I was going to do it anyways, but I guess, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear that if we bring brownies, Mrs. James brings brownies, that you'll for sure call some volleyball. Okay, Tuesday, Thursday night, Diego, we're going to call a little volleyball action.
I'm curious on something. Diego, what's your baking skills? Are you able to bake brownies?
No.
Oh, okay. No. That's out then.
All right. Now, Mrs. James is going to be on brownie duty. Axel, are you with us on Tuesday and Thursday for volleyball? Maybe. I got a maybe out of Axel if he's going to be there running the computer. Again, home volleyball, get out to Beresford on Tuesday and Thursday nights. We host Canton on Tuesday. I believe it's Garrettson on Thursday. Both of those will be home openers. Big cross-country kickoff is Thursday at the Bridges. I believe that's a 10 o'clock first race, so you're going to want to be there for that. And then next Friday night, another home football game. That will be the Jim Heron Field dedication. You're going to want to be here early to see Coach Heron out there doing the honorary coin toss, and then a little script read about Jim Heron's impact and Beresford Athletics and Beresford football specifically, and the name being attached to the field now.
And that cross-country kickoff, even if you're not familiar with cross-country, you don't know a thing about it, I would suggest if you're ever going to go to a cross-country meet, that is one that is so good and so fun and brings in a lot of the great runners in this region. It's a great setting, and all these runners are coming in super hyped because it's typically their first race. And Beresford's got a great setting for it as the finish line gives you a long runway to watch kids as they finish. Selling T-shirts there, the Booster Club does. They give lanterns away. It's kind of a big special moment, and there's a reason why it's the kickoff, and there's so many schools come to it because it is a special race. So, like I said, even if you're not familiar with cross country, if you ever wanted to come and check it out and see what it's all about, that would be one I would highly, highly recommend you come and check out.
It's great viewing. I didn't grow up knowing much about it. When I came to Beresford, I helped score it as the math department scored it with envelope labels and a piece of tag board. Now it's all electronically done digitally. You can see the results instantaneously on your phone. But it allows you really to enjoy it as a fan, and there's some great spots in the shade along the driving range over at the Bridges. So, again, a great opportunity to get out and see the runners as we just, not like basketball where you have 10 home games a year. We're fortunate to have one home cross-country event. Maybe you run the conference, but that's your chance to see some home action, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and there's six races. They'll have junior high, JV, and varsity. So it's, it really encompasses a lot of different runners, and you get to see some younger kids go out and showcase their running skills even in 7th and 8th grade.
Okay, they're going to blow this thing dead. Baltic will take a timeout. They may be looking to swap some personnel out here with 4:12 to go in the fourth. Axel, why don't you take us to a commercial break? We'll be back right after this one commercial.
Yeah. Another one. Yep. Man, this town's changed. Yeah. About damn time.
Beresford Telephone is your full-service local telephone company, providing telephone service, sales, high-speed fiber optic internet packages, and professional surveillance systems for both commercial and residential customers. Beresford Telephone also offers the only in-town gig-certified internet provider, which offers the highest speed services.
All right, fans, welcome back to Watchdogs Live, Dogbone Entertainment. Fourth and a couple here, 4th and 3, 4th and 2. Oh, Watchdog snap it over the head.
Throw it. That's about all you can ask for right there is just throw it to the side.
Yeah, it's just going to go down. It's going to be a sack. Group of Baltic Bulldogs are there. Number 5 for Baltic, Elias Oakley, slow to get up, but he is kind of hanging in there. Coming out of the bottom of that pile is number 50, Tyler Kennedy. He's a junior defensive lineman, 5'11", 195 pounds. Baltic will take over 1st and 10 from the Watchdog. We're going to call that the 27.
Yeah, and that play got a little messy, but overall, it's the impact on it's pretty slight. You already were under the understanding that you may not get the first down and turn the ball over anyway, and you just gave up some yards in the process. So not the end of the world. Baltic's going to take the ball over here on the 27-yard line, and based on the formation, I think they're just going to see if they can just grind it out. No, of course, I usually guess wrong.
Just a little flip to the outside on the far side of the field. Baltic completes that for a gain of a couple. Held up, bring up second, and we're going to, not a bad little gain there. That's actually more like 4 yards. We're going to bring up second and 6 here for Baltic.
Yeah, considering the formation, it wasn't like they had everybody all spread out. It was pretty basic formation. Things were tight, one person out in the outside, and I'm sure the coaching staff on the Watchdogs is saying, don't give up a big play, so they're playing off the ball. I think Hoffman's out there is giving him about a 10-yard cushion. So that throw will be there as many times as they want it, I think, here throughout the rest of the game.
During that last timeout, you and I were just spectating on the near sideline, which is where the Watchdogs stand right in front of our fans. It's the junior Tate Lyle, who's had a great night defensively. He's kind of grabbing a hold of Bobby Jones' chest and practicing some hand fighting, and he's grabbing on and showing him just a little bit different adjustment. And that's kind of cool stuff to see, kids gravitating towards him and him showing some of those technique pieces. And
you don't want to take anything away from any of the coaches. We've got a ton of experience and a ton of success on that sideline. But when you take somebody, oh, nice play. Oh, you might have got in there.
He reached out there with the hand.
Maybe his feet went out beforehand. But you see Bobby Jones on the sideline, and someone that big, someone that energized, and obviously got a resume of playing with Michigan State. That's going to catch kids' attention. So you're going to give some respect. But you can see he's very animated on the sideline, very passionate about coaching these kids, and they're responding extremely well to him. And so regardless of what happens throughout the rest of the season, they're really learning some great skills inside of football and learning some new things as they go throughout the season.
I believe that last pass went to Ben Erickson, the senior wide receiver. Sets up that 2 or 3 yard, 2 yard touchdown run. Just couldn't quite make out. It's just really struggling as the darkness is here without my binoculars, getting a good look down at that far end, which number we had going in. Baltic puts one up here. It's now Beresford 27, Baltic 12. They went for 2 earlier when they scored. They're getting set up offensively to go for 2. They've got a receiver split out to the right side. Double wing, double tight. Going to fade it out in the corner. I think that's Micah James again. So receiver got a step on him, and he made it up defensively, gained that ground back, and knocked that ball down before it got to the receiver. So the freshman DB, again, big brother coming from the right side and giving him the 5. Nice job over on the left side. So with 2:30 left to go in the game, it's Beresford 27, Baltic 12. Axel, why don't you throw another commercial in there? We'll come back. Right.
Wanting to upgrade your existing service? Contact Beresford Telephone today and let them get started on your high-speed services in no time.
Starting the first bank in South Dakota was the easy part. Earning the confidence of local farmers, helping families account for their dreams, and securing the future for countless businesses took us a little longer. We owe it to the hard workers, big dreamers, and forward thinkers out there. Thank you for making South Dakota a great place to call home.
All right, fans, welcome back. Watchdogs.live, Dogbone Entertainment. Jeff, worth noting, really good student section down here for the Watchdog students tonight. But a heck of a presence on the track. We've got, I think I count 16 cheerleaders down there. We won't see all of them, it sounds like, on the road, but opportunity for 16 young ladies to get out there and represent their school and their spirit and bring it for the crowd, and they're having a good time down there.
Yeah, dance and cheer has really been advanced here in Beresford for several years, and through a lot of different coaching efforts over the last multiple years. We got a lot of girls that are interested in it, and so we're fortunate enough to have 16 young ladies on the sideline with their palms and leading the student section and keeping the energy on the sideline. And so it's just one more nice thing what you have when you go to a football game here in Beresford.
Yeah, it's kind of part of that high school experience, right? It's why people choose schools of this size. Kids can be involved in a number of things. And
the other thing we didn't mention tonight was or maybe you did early on, about the image in the middle of the field.
I didn't really get to that yet, but obviously they've seen it on the camera all night. Watchdogs, nice job from the coaching staff. They had kind of the hands crew there. They're ready for that onside kick. Recovered it right at midfield, and was that Oberly running that one?
Yeah.
Oberly takes that one for a gain of 15 yards and a first down, so now 1st and 10 from the Baltic 35. Yeah, the logo in the middle, all the lines, Diego, if you want to just zoom back just a little bit for the fans, just kind of get a look on the field. The numbers, the lines, the hashes, the logo, the Watchdogs in the end zone, all done by a robot sprayer, essentially what it is. It's you can kind of choose what you want it to print, and it goes down a sequence of layers and maneuvers, but ton of hours used to go into painting a football field and getting it ready, mowing, watering, caring for it, all of that, and then pulling strings and mowing and pushing a painter and mixing paint and pushing it some more. And the hash marks, Jeff, in the old day were done with a bunch of 2x4s put together in the right dimensions every 5 yards, and you would bend down and paint 5 of them. Two guys would pick up that 2x4 mechanism, move it 5 yards, and you'd bend down and paint 5 more. And if you think of, each sideline having hash marks and the middle set of hash marks, 100 yards, so that was 400 hash marks. Yeah. That, we had custodial staff bending over and doing that week after week. And the numbers were all done with stencils and hand spraying, again, aerosol cans or a hand sprayer. It's just with the technology and opportunity that we partnered with the Alcester Hudson School and kind of went halves on the use of this robot. And we obviously got to keep an eye on it, but it's programmed for our field and it's stored in a memory. And you just turn it on, you mix up some paint, you let it go, and you come back and check on it an hour or two later, and you add a little more paint, maybe you swap a battery, and it goes and finishes.
It's amazing.
The lines are as straight as could be. Again, every bit of this was done with a robot. None of this was done by hand.
All right, Beresford's going to just take the knee and take the V along with it.
All right, that's a wrap. So on behalf of Jared Olson, Jeff Boom, Diego Hernandez, Axel Birian, Matt Storo, and all the other Dog World Entertainment Watchdog Live staff, this is a 27-12 victory for the Dogs over the Watchdogs, over the Bulldogs. Beresford will be at home next week hosting Parker. So again, appreciate everybody coming out and filling the stands like you did tonight. Jeff, thanks again for everything. We'll see you next week.
Go Dogs.